Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and anybody else joining us here today. This is the Sheffield United Way match reaction to United's 1-0 defeat away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, the reason that we're a little bit late is that I've been at the match today. I've just arrived back home after quite a bit of traffic on the way back, but overall, I thought it was better. It's disappointing to come away and lose. It's another game where we've not scored. It's another game where obviously the game has gone past us a little bit and we've lost it to a silly goal. You probably could think in advance, what's going to happen in this game? Well, they're probably going to get a free cross. They're probably going to score a free header. There's probably going to be a lack of defending. And going forwards, we're going to struggle to create chances. But that doesn't really tell the story today. Because I actually thought United were so much better than they've been recently. And I think we're a little bit hard done to have lost this game of football. I've come out of there for the first time in weeks. We did play well at Luton. I recognise that wasn't that long ago, but I've come away from that one. And there's a pride in the performance. There's a pride about how we've done today. They've got I think, deserved applause off the pitch. And it was really nice, actually, to, as an away end, feel as though we'd done a bit, to feel as though we'd put ourselves about and really got ourselves into the game. Now, before the game, I have to admit, I was a little bit sceptical. I wasn't sold on the starting lineup as it was put to me. I was sat there, I was talking to me dad, and I was saying, Dad, Ryan Brewster one up front. How's that ever going to work? But you know what? I thought it did. I thought this was possibly Brewster's best game in the United shirt. I thought he really caused problems for Wolves. And actually, I thought for the first 20 minutes, first 30 minutes maybe, before their goal, he'd actually really caused them some problems. And United actually started pretty well. It was balls over the top that were just causing a little bit of trouble for them. Brewster had got away at least once in that first 30 minutes. He had a really nice effort where he had a first effort. I think it was off a long throw. The ball was recycled, came back to him. He had a shot blocked and then hit a really nice instinctive half volley for the keeper to make a nice reaction. He then actually got himself in on goal. Again, it was a long ball this time, come over the top. The defenders missed it and Brewster's charging in on goal. And whether it's he delays too long before getting the shot off, whether it's just lacking a little bit of pace, his shot eventually is skewed off wide. But it's a sign of intent, and it was actually a sign that we'd got somebody leading the line who was able to get in behind, who was able to put that pressure on their defenders. And I thought he really did have a positive impact. He actually then won a really good tackle, I think just around midfield, to release McAtee. And McAtee was charging down. He managed to get beyond their defence. And again, whether it's being a bit too slow, whether it's just delaying a little bit before we get our shot off, the defenders come back at him, made a really good tackle. And we were eventually made to pay for not taking advantage of those really good opportunities in that first 20, 30 minutes by conceding, as I alluded to in the start, a really sloppy goal. They managed to get it down on their left wing and somebody charged the man. Somebody stop this cross. Please to God, somebody go and stop this cross. Don't give him time to cut inside and pick his man. Okay, we've given him enough time to cut inside and pick his man, but don't leave somebody unmarked in the box. We've got 3 centre halves, and we've got 2 defensive wing backs. We're gonna mark everybody that gets into the box, right? We're not gonna leave a little 5'6" lad on his own with a radiator about 6 inches around him to just head it into. Okay, we are. Never mind. Really poor goal to concede. I've seen it referenced already in our chat here, where I think it's Ian Smith pointing out that, again, Larouche leaves his man and he gets in, he's free. It's a really nice header. Let's just give him his due. He scores a really, really nice header. It's a fantastic cross. But defensively, I thought it was sloppy from United. I thought it was passive. I thought it was passive defending, which is something that we seem to get caught doing more and more in recent weeks. We're letting people just get a little bit of a run on us. They're moving first. We're giving them that little bit of extra space to put their cross in. Maybe it's because we're scared of being done one-on-one. Maybe it's a tactical play, so we're a little bit deeper. But just not having the man marked in the centre, it's criminal. And it's a really, really bad goal to concede. And it undid all of that good work from the first 30 minutes where we created chances, we'd stepped onto Wolves. And I actually thought we'd played pretty well. And that makes it all the more frustrating that eventually we go in at half-time and we're losing 1-0. And I just don't think we deserved to be losing 1-0. But that frustration, I'm talking about that frustration from my perspective as a fan. We did see some of that frustration come out on the pitch with Sousa and Robinson losing their minds, it seems a little bit. I didn't see this at the time in the ground, so we just got a notification there was a VAR check for violent conduct, and nobody could figure out what was going on. I didn't know who was being checked. I didn't know when it finished, and they said no red card. I didn't know whether to celebrate and be like, yeah, no red card, or to be like, oh, I can't believe he's not sent him off, and that one of the Wolves players should have walked. It was only leaving the ground, sort of seeing texts come through from friends, that it sounded as though Sousa and Robinson were the two players having a go at each other, and that actually there was a little bit of handbags between them. You know, they go head to head. There's a little bit of sort of a throw from Sousa in terms of throwing his arms towards Robinson. But Anel handled that situation really well. You know, I think it sounds as though there was a suggestion on Sky that they were saying, well, that's what you want to see, a bit of passion between players. And I do understand that. It's actually a sign that these players care. And I don't think we've seen much of that all season, but it's stupid. It's absolutely idiotic to have two players going at each other in the first half of a game that you've been in and been playing pretty well. It's that frustration boiling over, but Anel does really well to just get between the two players, separate them, shut it down immediately. And we didn't see any more of that. You know, those two players came back in the second half. I didn't know if we'd maybe be making changes at half time to remove some of that hot-headedness, to maybe look at that situation and think, do we need a change? But we didn't. And actually, I thought it worked. I thought Sousa and Robinson both did okay today. Don't think there were real problems there coming from either of those. Robinson's long throws, we had lots of them, and they were all dangerous. He was getting them on the money, putting them in the right place. And Sousa, I thought, was effective again through that midfield. So it was the right decision, but it just really showed that frustration that we'd started well, and then a stupid moment that really could have been costly. I'm glad it wasn't, but yeah, seeing it again, I have seen the clip since I've left the ground. It's just stupid, and it is a shame to see that. And it did put a bit of a downer going into half time when you start to get those messages coming through. But then second half, I thought United were the better team. You know, I really do. I just thought we were. It felt like we'd pushed them back. We haven't done this all season where we've got the ball and we're able to actually step forward with a team sat deep. They obviously wanted to try and hit us on the counter. They were trying to get quick players in behind us, but they weren't effective in doing that. We'd really limited them, and we really did have control of that game without creating anything at all. And that's what's frustrating. There were no chances really that we were starting to create to really build that pressure. We were getting corners. We were getting long throws. Their crowd was starting to get really nervy. We were hearing the whistling. We were starting to hear them, get on, come on, let's eat these. Because they were really frustrated and worried that we were coming into the game and that we were really taking it to them. It felt as though we did have a goal coming. I can only remember one scenario where I thought they were in, where I thought they'd hit us perfectly on the counter, were getting in behind us. And I shout it out because I blamed him for the goal. And I said that I thought Larousse should have done better. He shouldn't have left his man. He shouldn't leave him unmarked. He did unbelievably well. I think it's Pedro Neto, but it could have been a different Wolves player. He is in. He's just in behind us. He's fast. He's quick. He's got skill. He's just in on goal, one-on-one, and there's nothing we can do about it, or so you think. But Larousse matches him step for step all the way. He runs with him, defends it brilliantly, and I thought he did a fantastic job there. So I wanted to shout it out because I blamed him for the goal, but he did so well in really a goal-saving sort of moment there in the second half. And I thought overall he had a decent game today, Larousse. I thought he did fine. And then second half, you know, after they've had that chance, after we've been pushing and huffing and puffing, but not being able to blow the house down, we do get a chance. Long throw into the box, a little bit of head tennis. McAtee does brilliantly to knock it across goal. And there's a Sula and there's Trusty, and Trusty throws himself at it and he just can't get there. And it's that frustration that you think that was the chance. And really, we didn't make the most of it. We didn't create that moment where we were going to be having that shot on goal, where we were making the keeper make big saves. It just felt as though we didn't quite have that cutting edge today. But it's nice to see that we've got a Wolves fan here in chat, Lou, saying she said we outplayed them second half. And I couldn't agree more. I do think that United was so unlucky not to take something from this game. It's one of our better performances of the season. It's one of our better performances in terms of that fight. You know, last few weeks, let's look at Villa. We concede one, and then suddenly we're 3-0 down because we just completely lose all our fight, lose our bottle, concede goal after goal after goal. Brighton, we concede one, suddenly we're 3 down because we concede goal after goal in pockets, and they come all the time, one after the other, and it's happened week after week. But today we did not capitulate when we conceded. We kept going and actually showed some fight, some battle, got ourselves back into the game, and we're just unlucky not to be able to take a point out at the end, which I think would have been deserved. But let's look at some of the individual players, some of those players who've come on today. Maybe a few players who I don't expect to be shouting out very often. I've mentioned Larouche. I thought overall he was fine today. I thought he had a pretty decent game. I mentioned that one outstanding moment, but also his one bad moment. And so I thought overall, again, it's another one of those games where he did fine and he looked as though he can do a job at this level, albeit that we do want to see a little bit more from the player playing that position. But the other one is Ryan Brewster, who I think massively deserves a shout out. I did think he was good today. I would probably give him United's man of the match because I just thought he really caused problems in a way that he hasn't done for so long. And it's really nice to see that. Gerbic back in goal. I don't think he had loads to do. And I think that's a sign of the fact that United were arguably the better team in this game. We were the one with the ball, trying to play forward, trying to create pressure, and Gerbic didn't have loads to do. I'd like to see a little bit more from him on some of the crosses. There were a few times the ball's come across the face of the goal and he's been static on his line, or he's punched when maybe he could have done different, but I don't want to get on him. I thought he had, again, a steady game today. Don't think he's done anything wrong, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from him as our new number one. I thought the defence marshalled them well. I think what worried me today going in, and the reason I thought we'd get hammered, is how good their wingers are. They play with two quick, direct wingers. They beat you, get to the byline, and they're pulling it back across. And they do that time after time to team after team. Pedro Neto is talked about as going to one of the big clubs for 50 million quid. And today he's not really impacted that game at all. I thought we defended him really, really well. We managed to nullify that threat that he brings. Same with Hwang. I've barely seen him. He's not had an impact. He's not created chances. He's not scored a goal. He's not bullied our defenders. We were really compact, and I did think that back five worked today. So that's really good to see. So there are positive things to talk about. There is a performance there that you think, right, let's build on that. Let's go again against Arsenal. Yep. Let's build on that positive performance against Arsenal. That can only go well. But yeah, overall for me today, I thought it was better. I can see in the comments that people do agree. Hal, who unfortunately wasn't able to do the match reaction today as he's away on holiday. But again, we've played well, but hits the nail on the head. Proud of the effort, better performance, doing okay, but give a silly goal away. Can't score, can't create chances. Alessandro, similar, much improved performance. Deserved a point. Thought that, again, Larouche, Brewster deserve being shouted out, but we didn't get any points. It's disappointing. It's a shame. I thought we did deserve more. And Kelly, I think she's right. I think it is championship. I personally have said it since Luton on Boxing Day. That was the one when I really thought, I think the season might be done now. And we fought more today, but it's the championship and we have to get ourselves prepared for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this team looks like as we do go into next season, as we start to think about what we're going to look like and how we're going to make sure that we're in a position to bounce back, have a really positive season next year. And performances like today from Brewster are the kind of things that I want to see, because that's a sign that a player is ready to step forward and try to take more of that leading role. We're going to need somebody to lead the line next year, because I don't expect Cameron Archer to be here. And so seeing Ryan Brewster put in a performance like he did today does make a really big difference. So it's another defeat, but one that gives us some pride, one that gives us something to think about and build on, and one that's meant I've had a really good day today going to Wolves. I'll be honest with you, I was really negative last week. After Brighton, I was done. I really was. I thought that the performance had let me down one too many times. The VAR decisions that have come in, particularly our disallowed off goal, I was done. I came out of that ground and I said, you know what? I really don't want to watch him anymore. I just really feel fed up. But then today, I've gone to Wolves. I've gone with my dad. Now, my dad doesn't go away very often. I'll be honest with you. He's not gone since I think it was 2015. And I think it was Rochdale. We won 2-1 the last time that my dad had come on an away day with me. And so it was great to go with him. And it reminds you why you like football. It's why I come and watch United, that I get the opportunity to go and do that with my dad, to go and enjoy watching football like that. And actually to see a performance that you can be a little bit proud of. You know, I'm not sat here cursing that nobody's got any effort, that nobody wants to try. So it's been a decent day today. We're disappointed by the result, but overall, I can't ask for much more from this United team at the minute. I don't think we're good enough for the league, and therefore putting in fight, putting in effort, and giving me something that I can come home and say, I've had a good day with my dad. And actually, we've both left saying, we've had a good go at that. We've competed and we earned the right to properly play today. And I thought we saw more from Sheffield United than we expected. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. It's a little bit shorter, the match reaction today, but I think overall there's positives there and it's not a disaster, albeit that it's Arsenal next. That'll be fun, I'm sure. Thanks for joining me, Blades. I hope you've had a good day. I hope wherever you watch the game that you managed to find some pride in that performance as well. And I look forward to seeing you next time where maybe, just maybe, we can achieve a miracle against Arsenal at home. It's happened for us before on a dark night at Bramall Lane. So let's just keep a little bit of faith. Yeah. Up the Blades.